Well, you don't often get post-game shows with me in the bowels of Target Center, but when Jon Krawczynski is your guest, AP Johnny, formerly AP Johnny, now Johnny Athletic, Jon Krawczynski, how are you doing, man?
I'm good, Andrew. Thanks for having me, man. Fun time to check in just as the playoffs are getting close here, and so I've been off most of the summer, and now it's time for me to start working again too. So this is a great way to kind of get my butt back in gear a little.
And for those of you that are joining in, this is the Missing Lynx podcast, live stream, postcast, whatever we're calling it nowadays. But I'm your host, Andrew Dukowitz, beat reporter for Zone Coverage. I cover the Lynx, Wolves, and now Gophers women's basketball for the website. And like I say, Johnny Krawczynski is here, and we're going to just get into some Lynx, which I think it's one of those weird things that a lot of people don't know, that you do actually follow the Lynx quite a bit. It's just you're too busy being like a really good dad and going to soccer meets and like doing summer things. But you are like an actual fan of the team, right?
I mean, I do love watching them play. And yeah, I mean, certainly having a daughter who is a basketball junkie helps with that as well. Gives us a little bonding thing to kind of go at. I like taking her to games. I certainly am not like embedded with the team like you are, or certainly the way I am with the Wolves, and that's okay. It gives me a different perspective. It also just does allow me to kind of have a summer to be with, the family and hanging out, but also just being able to just tune in and watch basketball as, something other than a dispassionate beat writer. It's a nice, nice departure sometimes. So yeah, I've been watching this team. I love watching them play. Yeah, my daughter, we were watching tonight, and I just said, "Hey, what do you think of Cheryl's jacket?" And she said, "I love it." So yeah, so she's the Lynx have a fan of 10-year-old Nita, and it's really fun seeing them play so well right now.
Well, and we should mention Lynx just beat the Dallas Wings by 25. Napheesa Collier had a smooth 25 points in, 25 points in not that many minutes. In 23 minutes, 7 of 10 shooting, 4 of 4 from 3. I just kind of wonder, you have gotten the opportunity to cover so many good basketball players. What's it like watching Fee from the outside? Because I do feel like there is a different perspective from, like, I see her multiple times a week and talk to her versus, kind of like you are with the Wolves, where you see Anthony Edwards, Jaden multiple times a week, and it just kind of sways your opinion a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. The thing that's been most satisfying to watch about her is like the way that she came in, certainly as a she's 7th overall pick, right? So
yep.
In the WNBA, that does not necessarily guarantee success. It doesn't in the NBA either. But when you're the 7th pick in the WNBA, that you could be a really, really good player, or you could be a rotation player, or you could be a bench player. And to see the way that she has come in, and really from the jump, but certainly in the last couple of years, just not only asserted herself as a great player, but maybe as the best player in the league or top 2. It's been a great story. And, as a chronicler of sports, I just love great stories. And, you see all the hard work that she has put in. You see the way that Cheryl Rivas built the team around her to kind of accentuate her strengths, but also the way that she has just asserted herself as a top flight defender, top flight offensive player, one with very few holes in her game, an incredible leader. The way that she started Unrivaled, the way that she's been vocal with the players union, and in terms of like where we're going with those discussions down the road. There's nothing not to really like about the whole package. I'll probably say this a lot today, but like when I think about players who I want my daughter to watch and watch closely and just see how they carry themselves and see what they do and the work they put in and how they continue to grow their games and their personalities and treat people. I mean, she's right at the top of the list. So a sort of unexpected, maybe that she's risen to this level from when she first came in to the league, but now that she's here, it's undeniable.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Lynx always talk about her with like they say the word grace a lot, that she's just a graceful person, a graceful leader. The way she plays basketball has this like elegance to it, where it has like the Kobe fadeaway, but also has a 3-ball and driving to the rim. And it really is just, again, being around her more often is just made my appreciation of her greater, because she really is just a really good person. Like, she's the person that'll say hi to you in the elevator, or the person that'll like go out of her way to like give you knucks before a press conference, which, I mean, it's not to say that people that don't do that are bad people, but like, it's just kind of in line with what the perception of Fee is, that she's just this really nice person that happens to be good at basketball.
Yeah, I think that you couldn't ask for more from a combination of person and player. I mean, there is no way to reach higher than what Fee is at right now. I mean, she's almost surely going to win the MVP. Yeah. She carried a team, helped the team get to the finals last year that probably didn't have any business being there. And now she has the best team in the league. And so she is impacting and winning at an incredibly high level on both ends of the court. And also, she just happens to be a gem of a person. And I think someone who understands the responsibility of her position in life. And so when you see the way that she interacts with fans, when you see the way that she treats media and teammates and coaches and everyone that she comes into contact with, when you see the mother that she is and the way that she's been able to balance that as well. I mean, it's just, what more could you want out of an A1 face of the franchise type of player? And she is that and more. She's face of the league type. We've had that conversation with Ant a lot over the last year or so, but Fee is there right now. Like, there's no debate now about where she stands with the team that she has. And she has handled all of that success without any kind of chip on her shoulder, without any kind of bitterness or defiance or anything like that. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's also interesting because a big contrast between the WNBA and the NBA is NBA players are really like media trained, like for the most part, they know what they should say in front of a camera. The WNBA just doesn't have that. I mean, like, Fee kind of accidentally declared she was going to retire Diana Taurasi at the end of an interview against the Mercury last year, and then went out and did it. But I think that's the other part of just Fee's charm, is that it seems so authentic, because there isn't this like veneer of just media training where it's, we had a good game, we'll work hard, we'll play better next time. She really kind of gets into more of that emotional side, honestly, kind of like Nikhil did during his time here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll compare it to to Maya Moore when she was here, and I wrote more about the Lynx when she was here, so I spent a little more time around her than I have Fee. But certainly in my observations of Fee, like, Maya was very much from the Derek Jeter school of media interaction, in terms of just like, I'm going to be very careful with what I say. I'm not going to do anything to kind of create any controversy. This is no shade on her. Like, she's a remarkable person. As we've seen, she's one of the very best players I've ever seen. And she did everything that she had to do. But there was that little bit of a veil between, her and the fan and the media in terms of most of her interactions. Fee does seem to be a little more comfortable with opening up, with kind of speaking a little bit more off the cuff. And I do think that resonates. And I think part of that too is just where the league is at now compared to where it was when Maya was there. I think that, there are more eyeballs on the league. It is getting more media coverage. And so I do think that where in the past you could tell that players really were trying to be accessible but also trying to be very nice and say the right things and approachable because they know they needed the coverage. And now you're seeing a little bit more of the personality come into these players and them just being more comfortable in their own skin, really kind of sharing and kind of doing things the way that they think. And Fee has done that really well. And it just does, like, it adds an element. Authenticity is the exact word. Like, just, you know, that what she is saying, she's believing, and because of that, you understand like how important all of this is to her and whatever she's talking about. And it's really, it really resonates. And just listening to her talk about the opportunity that's presented right now and just her role in this whole thing.
You mentioned kind of where the league is now, and I know there was a couple comments on our posts of people wanting your take on the Stud Budz. So I am going to ask you about that, but first I'm going to run us through an ad read here quick, and then we'll get into Stud Budz, who actually like made some history tonight too. Well, hello. Thank you, Livestream Andrew. This is Ad Read Andrew. And today we have Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, the presenting sponsor for the Missing Links podcast. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling strives to inspire people to follow their ideas, working with respect and understanding to create a quality, tailored result. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, located in Blaine and serving in the North Metro area, is here to help you with your building and remodeling needs. I can say personally, thanks to Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, I have a beautiful deck in my backyard and countless projects that I started, they finished. Get started on your new deck or remodel today by calling Isaac at 763-710-5686. And Firehawk Construction now has a website and Facebook. So if you do not want to call or email Isaac, you can go to their website or their Facebook, get a free quote estimate, and kind of a makeup of whatever your ideas would be. There's just a nice little form that you can fill out there. So John, the Stud Budz, Courtney Williams and Napheesa Heidemann tonight, T gets her first ever double-double in the WNBA, and they also become the 5th pair of players in WNBA history to score 15 plus points and 9 plus assists in the same game. I mean, we talk about where this league has kind of gone from a social standpoint. I don't think there's anything that exemplifies that more than, you know, the Stud Budz, who are now Twitch streaming personalities, and half of the Target Center's hair is pink.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of authentic, I mean, the way that they go about things, it's amazing. And that's part of it too, is that seeing that they clearly see an opportunity for themselves in this whole explosion of interest in the WNBA. And it's not calculated on their part, but I do think they understood that people are resonating with what they're bringing to the table just from a personality standpoint. And they are fun, and they are just kind of wild, kind of crazy. And that's awesome in the best of ways. And I do think that obviously that, you know, the success that the Lynx are having, the success that they're having is breeding the interest in who they are. If they were a couple of knuckleheads that were playing for the worst team in the league and nothing was happening for them, none of this would be taking off. But what it is like every great team has these these just crazy characters on them. I mean, Ant is one of them for the Wolves. I mean, and you think of Dennis Rodman, you think of like all of the crazy, you know, NBA players that have had these wide open personalities and eye catching. But I think now you are starting to see the women understand that there are more opportunities out there for them if they're willing to connect, to just share, to open their lives to the fans, and what a difference it's making. I mean, they're great players, but the reason that fans, I think, are really connecting is, the pink hair, is the stream, you know, the streams that they have where they're dancing into the late into the night at All-Star Weekend, where, you know, it's clear that all you know, a lot of their competitors really vibe with them and are having fun and just think like, you know, they're great people. And so I think what they have been able to do is portray this kind of feeling of, and this vibe of, man, I wish I could hang out with these two. I wish we could just go grab a drink. I wish we could grab dinner one night and just listen to their stories. And that kind of connection with fans, I think, is a little bit unique in just the way that they've been able to position themselves. And so they are the people. If you're throwing a party and those two show up, it just jumped up 7 notches. And that's super cool. And oh, by the way, when they get on the court, they're busting your ass. And so I think all of that, is conspiring to kind of make them this sort of internet sensation. But they're certainly, it's all grounded in their skills, and they're flashy players, and they have tight handles, and they can shoot it, and they have some swagger to them on the court, and then off the court, they're having a blast and letting everyone see how much fun they're having. It's great.
It's wild that you have the same chance of seeing them just flying down a road on a Lime scooter together as like seeing Jon Krawczynski at a Target. I mean, they're so out in the public with all of this too. I think the other thing is just, they are, I can say from covering them last year, them on a stream is no different than them at a press conference, than at a practice, than at like walking through the Skyway. Like that is unauthentically, unapologetically them, which David asks in the chat, what do we need to do to get Ant on Stud Budz? I think the internet might explode, to be honest, because Courtney and Ant are from the same neck of the woods. I don't I don't know how many fines there would be.
Yeah, exactly. Like, maybe, the fines coming down for the language would probably be significant, but I'll tell you what, like, I'm not ruling it out. Ant has been in town here. He's just getting back from China, but it's September now, and so the Wolves are going to start being around Target Center a lot more, and around the field house or the practice facility, and when the Lynx are winning, they all love to go and watch. And so you're going to see Ant at a couple of games, I'm sure, in the playoffs and things like that. And would you like doubt Courtney Williams to walk right up to Ant in the stream with us? Let's go. Like, no, like she will absolutely do that. And I think Ant will be like, yeah, man, let's go. I mess with that. Like, let's have some fun with it. So it seems like a match made in heaven that way. Just their personalities, yes, their upbringings, where they come from. There's too much in common, and so I'd say like that is the stream that's waiting to kind of jump this whole thing to another level.
Yeah, I think if Ant went on a Stud Budz stream, it would immediately bring their fame to a different level. And to your point, the Wolves do show up at the Target Center. Dante was there sitting courtside tonight, conveniently in, I think, the same chair he bent with Isaiah Stewart's face in the brawl. Nice. So shout out to Dante. Rocco's been here multiple times, just sitting in with the fans, which I don't know how well, and 7'3" Australian blends in with Minnesota Lynx fans. But yeah, last year Jaden was at a few. I remember Mike was dancing with Courtney's dad. Like I think there's a possibility someone from the Wolves will hop on that stream at some point if they're asked. Getting a lot of questions just about Dejanay's injury. I'll give the update on that. Cheryl said it was, can't remember exactly what she said, but it's essentially like slang for a partially dislocated shoulder. Dejanay's had rock tape on her shoulder all season. I think she's been dealing with shoulder issues even in Dallas. It sounded like it's more precautionary than anything else. But John, I'd love to get your take on someone losing their contact and then just dry eye throwing it in from the court.
It was like, we've seen Willis Reed walk out of the Madison Square Garden tunnel with like dragging one leg and playing. We've seen all sorts of different toughness, but like, that's not tough. That's crazy. Like that's absurd that you're like, even Chuck Barty, you saw, was right there with a little solution. Hey, do you want some? And she didn't even barely look at him. She just popped it right back in. Like I used to wear contacts. Thankfully I have had the surgery and I don't need to anymore, but like, I can't imagine a more uncomfortable, gross thing than like letting my contact fall out of my eye onto the floor and then not rinsing it out before I put it back in my eye. She is built different, that's for sure, to be able to do something like that.
Yeah, I don't have words. I also had contacts before I got LASIK, and I couldn't even imagine how irritating that would be,
Mm.
let alone with like sweat and everything else that she's dealing with. But it doesn't sound like it's eye related at all, thankfully, because that would probably be the worst case if she like tore her cornea doing that. But I would expect, I mean, the Lynx have 4 games left. They don't really have much to play for. I wouldn't be surprised if she rests, but also Dejanay is one of those players that I think she'd literally need to be broken to not play. So I'm not going to rule it out if she's just back against Las Vegas. John, I'm going to throw us over to one more ad break here. And then when we get back, we'll take some more fan questions if you got a few more minutes, and
Sure.
we'll wrap up after that.
Great.
And we're back with another ad read, this time for Pence Homes, the presenting sponsor of Hitting the Hardwood Network. From the best tools and technology to transparency throughout the entire process, Nate Pence and the Pence Homes team is the top choice for buyers, sellers, and is proud to support you and your home ownership goals. Get started today by calling 612-308-1122 or by emailing info@pencehomes.com. Oh, we got the dot on that ad read, not the com. I think that's the future of this podcast, is someone's going to start putting over-unders on if the ad cuts out for Nate Pence, but shout out Nate Pence. Appreciate him. So John,
and let me say, sixth overall pick for Fee. I'm sorry, she was 6th, not 7th. My bad, Lynx fans. That was a a slip up that I regret gratefully. So
appreciate that, John.
Mhm.
I guess, John, with the Lynx going into the playoffs, I mean, they have the number 1 offense, the number 1 defense, tops in net rating. They're almost doubling the dream, best assist to turnover ratio. I think they're 2nd in true shooting. I'd love to hear, like, from a fan and an outsider's perspective and not the beat reporter, John, just what is the expectations for this team, do you think?
I mean, it's championship. I mean, finals at least. Like, I never like to put a zero-sum game on, you win the championship or you fall short. Like, I think that's too high for any team in any league. I just think that fans should be able to enjoy a great season and really competitive run all the way through. And if you don't win a championship, you're miserable. Like, I think that's just a bad way to live. But certainly with what happened last year, with how they played in those finals and probably should have won the finals, and to now the way that they have just absolutely hammered the league for almost the entire year. The 12.7 net rating is like, that's just an insane number.
Yeah.
And so, yes, like maybe they've dropped 1 or 2 here or there while they've, over the last couple of weeks, and I know that Las Vegas has won 10 in a row, but this is the
12
team
in a row now.
Or 12 in a row.
They have not lost since that blowout
Since
that Minnesota gave them.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, one of the things that you'll see, I'm sure that fans have recognized, in the MVP discussion, in the best team discussion, is fans and media get bored if it's the same thing all season long. We saw it back in the day with Karl Anthony Towns, when he was clearly the best rookie all the way through his rookie season. And at the end, I mean, Jokic, we didn't know he would come to it, become what he did. But at the end, Jokic had a couple of good months. And I was like, well, is he the rookie of the year? No, he wasn't. Like, it was Cat the whole way through. And there will be some discussion about, well, are the Aces really the best team with this, winning streak that they're on and all that? No, like, they're not. It's been the Lynx all year long. It's been the Napheesa Collier all year long, but there will be certainly some of that discussion. And I'm sure that Cheryl Reeve will love to see that for motivation for her players and all those things. But yeah, I mean, you just look wire to wire at what they've been able to do. I've said this before, but it just reminds me so much of the San Antonio Spurs back in the day when they lost to Miami, heartbreaking fashion in the finals. And the next year, they just came back and bum rushed the entire league and said, nope, this is, we are determined to show that was, we let one off the hook and that now we're getting our revenge. And they did. They were the best team. They just trucked everyone. And that's what the Lynx look like they're doing right now. So they will enter the playoffs as the clear-cut favorite, I believe, and they should be, pushing for the finals, and they should be able to view this as, the championship is there for them. And it's really, it's just so much fun to watch a team sort of embrace that the way that they have, because it's in the style of play. It's in the unselfishness, the sharing the basketball, the playing, the defensive intensity. You can see the edge that they do play with, like they have something to prove, like they were cheated out of something last year, and they are playing together as well as any team, certainly in this league has in a long, long time. And so just all of the numbers kind of say that this is the team, much like it said for OKC in the NBA playoffs. So it's just like, you know what, they're so overwhelmingly better than every team that we've seen that it's going to be theirs to lose. And I think that's what the Lynx are looking at going into these playoffs.
Completely agree. Even the Spurs, I think that's been a lot of people's observation, is just like, this seems really reminiscent, even down to the like professionalism, where they are just every night dominant. The team in themselves are setting that expectation of championship or bust. Like Cheryl has said, we were in it last year. Like, the expectation is we win the ring. Fee has said, like, that is the only goal for her this year. I think down the line, Courtney joked that this was the first season she actually worked out in the off season in her entire career, which again, something about those athletes from Georgia that seems very on brand for another athlete that we cover. But I've kind of started to change it to, like, their expectations if they lost it would be like that 72-10 Warriors team losing it. 3 all-stars. They are going to have the MVP. From what I'm hearing, Lan is kind of the front runner for the defensive player of the year. They might have the sixth person of the year, player of the year. And then Cheryl, she isn't going to win coach of the year, but she has made a hell of a case for winning it this year. It's the depth in what their roster is kind of a coach's dream at this point.
Yeah, she deserves an incredible amount of credit, because she's obviously also the president of basketball operations. So she has assembled this roster. She made the Dejanay Carrington trade. Like, that looks like a great move for them and a great fit. She's put all this together, and we saw how she did it with Whalen, Fowles, Moore, Brunson, Augustus, like with Hall of Famers, like all of them Hall of Famers. Looks like Napheesa is headed there. We'll see about some of these other players that are on the team, but they don't have 4 or 5 Hall of Famers on the team right now, but they have really, really good players. But this team is less about overwhelming with individual talent and more about overwhelming with the way the talent fits together and plays together. And like, that's just incredibly satisfying to watch that. Like you say, she won't win coach of the year. It's like, why not? Like, what team is, what team plays better than the Lynx do? And like, what team maximizes their talent better than the Lynx do? Like, no one does. So maybe she won't win it for whatever reason, but like, she should because they've just been far and away better than everyone else in the league, and with a level of talent that they have. They have really good players, but it's not looking at this and saying this is unfair talent wise. So there were times where the old version of the Lynx, you looked at it like, this is unfair talent wise. They're just way better than everyone else. Like, I don't think that's the case here. I think that she coaches them and has installed a system and gotten them all to buy in at a Popovich like level. And so she should be rewarded for that. And so we'll see how all of that shakes out. But like, just watch them on a nightly basis. Look how they back cut. Look how they pass. Look for each other. Look how they cover each other on defense. Like, it's all technically superior basketball that you're watching, in addition to the talent they have with Fee and Collier and with Alana Smith and with a lot of the players on their team. But it's not the talent. It's the way they play together that is the star of this thing.
It's the like perfect example of like, you know, the pieces are greater than the whole, right?
For
Like
sure,
the
100%.
Lynx have all of this talent. Then you look, I mean, New York is still the same team. I mean, they have
Mhm,
3 MVP candidates and Natasha Cloud now. I mean, they're
mhm.
not slouches by any means, but it's the system that Cheryl has everyone bought into that is so perfect. I want to ask you 2 more quick ones here before
Mhm.
you get off. Just the first one is, I think the last time I saw you at a Lynx game, Cheryl Reeve was requesting security to remove you.
Yeah, right.
Are we
Yeah.
going to see you at a Lynx game in the playoffs this year?
Yeah, I hope so. A lot of it does depend on kind of family commitments and other things, but I love going, especially in the playoffs. I love covering these games because they're high level basketball. I enjoy talking to Cheryl and I enjoy hearing Fee and Courtney and all these and writing about them. They give you a lot of material, so
Yeah.
I hope to get there. But I can guarantee you, if I don't work a game, I'll be there with my kids, several times throughout the playoffs watching the games. Like I just, we really enjoy coming. It's really a fun time. My son loves it as much as my daughter does. So we'll be in the building. I will be in the building one way or another. It's just a matter of if I'll be getting paid for it, if I'll be paying for it. So, we'll see how that shakes out.
The other one I have is Cheryl has guaranteed that if they win the championship, she will dye her hair pink.
Mhm.
Can we get even a strand of pink hair on Jon Krawczynski's head at the starting of the Wolves season?
No, I think I'm not going to be so bold to make that guarantee in public right now. That's for sure. Maybe I'll wear a pink shirt one time or something like that. But that might be going a little bit above what I'm prepared to do. But I can guarantee you, both of my kids will. They love. We have this kind of like temporary hair dye that we'll throw in there, and we'll paint both their hairs pink, and they'll be celebrating at the parade if that's the way it goes down.
All right, John, I appreciate you so much for coming on. Also, just for people that don't get enough Jon Krawczynski praise in their life, John is just awesome. Like I can say as a first year writer on the beat, John's like leadership, his like inclusion of everything. I just appreciate you so much. So I wanted to say that publicly, and I'll be seeing you in, oh gosh, just about 3 weeks for some Wolves media stuff.
It'll be here before we know it. I'm, continually impressed by all your work ethic, Andrew. I don't know how you do all the things that you do and keep going, but it's great to see you having some success and this is really cool. So thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, John. Thanks again.